Quality Radio.
Welcome, everyone. This is 5RoundMMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host, Albert Cita. We are down a man today. Our Orlando correspondent, Gegard Mousasi, is celebrating his son's birthday. I think, what do you say, Legoland? No? Disney World?
He said Legoland. Which, is there a Legoland in Florida?
I don't think so. SeaWorld, maybe? I don't know.
Here? I don't know.
I should read
He's my brother.
Yeah, he's your brother.
I don't know his life.
And it's your nephew, too,
And
by the
my
way.
nephew.
But happy birthday. And we'll just push on without Guillermo this week. We have a lot to talk about this week. The curious case of Donald Cerrone and the emergence, question mark, of Darren Till.
Darren Till.
We're going to grade Gegard Mousasi's Bellator debut, talk about Dana White's really lack of willingness to try and help solve the weight cutting issue that a lot of his fighters are going through, a lot of other fighters are going through as well. Cyborg complaining about being drug tested too often, and your boy, the Dragon, Machida, makes his return next Saturday night. So let's start with round number one, why don't we? So this past weekend it was UFC in Poland. I don't even want to pronounce the city's name. It's like I'm just going to UFC Fight Night in Poland on UFC Fight Pass. Main event was Donald Cerrone versus Darren Till. And to my surprise, not to your surprise, if people
I scored right.
Yeah, if people go on our Instagram page at FiveRoundMMA, FIVE, they'll see that Albert picked Darren Till to win, and Albert was correct out of all of us, Guillermo and Jason. We all picked Cowboy to win, and Darren Till won via first round TKO, and with about maybe 20 seconds left in the fight, at 4 minutes 20 seconds. Who's Darren Till? He's 16-0. I have no idea who he is. I know I'm supposed to know these things, but I don't pretend to be an expert.
So
we're no experts here on this show.
I'm not going to lie either and say, like, I knew the guy.
This was coming since day one. If you paid attention to me, I called it since day one. Darren Till's been up and coming.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to say. Now people know what I've been saying here for months and months and months about Darren Till.
Leading up to the fight, I saw some highlights, and I knew the kid was really good standing up. And I knew for a fact that if Donald Cerrone had a little bit of pressure on him, I knew it was Darren Till's night.
Yeah.
I wish I had more insight on that. But I just saw highlights, liked what I saw. And
sometimes that's all you need, a little highlight. Well, he's 16-0. He's 24. He's from Liverpool, England. So is he the next Michael Bisping, maybe?
I think this came in at the perfect time because I think Michael Bisping is out the door.
On his way out.
GSP's going to open that door for him.
Yeah, so basically he's fought this was his 1, 2, 3, 4. This was his fifth bout in the UFC. And everybody he's ever fought. He fought to one draw one time, but I don't even know the guys he's even fought before.
Yeah, I think even Donald Cerrone made the comment that he had to look up his opponent and know who he was.
I mean, just keeping it real. And honestly, and to Donald Cerrone, too, he was humble. He said, you broke my nose in like 2 places.
Dude, that thing was nasty.
So, I mean,
and if you want to see that nasty picture, it's on our
Instagram as well, 5RoundMMA. But his first fight card was in Brazil. And then he fought again for UFC. His second fight was I think they were fighting in the United States. Was in Ireland, of course. Talk about Darren Till Hill. And then here. And then he fought in, let me see. I think Brazil again. No, Stockholm, Sweden. Okay. And then he fought, before Donald Cerrone, he fought in the Netherlands, in Holland. So, of course, and a lot of these fights take place on the Fight Pass, right? So you can't blame casual fans or
for not really knowing
who he is. Yeah. And then so if Darren Till, you'll be mad at somebody. Be mad at the UFC and Sean Shelby for booking you on these ridiculous Fight Pass cards. And again, you knock out Donald Cerrone, but you knock out Donald Cerrone on a Saturday in October in the middle.
Early too, no?
Yeah, on UFC Fight Pass with college football, basketball starting, and MLB playoffs. Does it really happen if nobody sees it type of thing? So I think if they want this kid, if they're just kind of keep him, he's a European.
Nah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be either headlining the prelims pretty soon or he's going to be one of those free cards on FS1.
That maybe on a card that doesn't take place in Europe or South America.
I will say this too. If you watch the replay or if you guys catch the highlights and see how Donald Cerrone actually fell, it's because of the he falls like very awkwardly, but it's because now we know that his nose was like destroyed.
Yeah.
But all I want to say is I've broken my nose before, and if anybody barely touches it, I get like all clean or whatever.
Yeah.
I start freaking out because and then when I saw a picture, it just gave me flashbacks. That's like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that time when I'm watching the highlights and I see him get tagged in the nose, I cringe so much.
So Darren Till, trajectory is going to go up, right? 24 years old. Donald Cerrone is 10 years his senior, 34 years old. This is now his third loss in a row. He lost to Robbie Lawler and lost to Jorge Masvidal.
In a new weight class at that. So
yeah.
It's not like there's another weight class form around there.
What's up with him? Does he stay?
I think it just caught up to him.
He's not very successful at 170
at all. And then, I mean, I could see him dropping back down to 155 to kind of finish his career.
I think he's like 3-3.
Just because the 155 is a little bit chaos right now.
Yeah.
And you can potentially steal a good fight at 155 right now because the matchups are kind of locked and nobody wants to budge in the top tier part.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's fights for him at 155, and I do see him in his career. If he does want to continue fighting in his career at 155, I don't think that 170 is a good place for him.
I mean, at one point, like especially with Chuck Liddell, like, okay, maybe it's a knockout loss, right? He'll bounce back and then maybe loses again, but then another knockout loss and then another. So that he has 2 knockout losses in his last 3 fights. At what point do you say, okay, hey, Donald Cerrone,
I say give him one more.
One more? If his next fight ends with a knockout loss, you think that, hey, you're out, you're done, you're done. We'll see. And then I'm pretty sure he'll find a home in Bellator. That's it for round number 1. We're going to come back and talk about Gegard Mousasi's Bellator debut. I want to go ahead and Albert to a judge or give him a letter grade on his performance against Alexander Shlemenko. But before that's about one of our great partners, sponsors at 5 Rounds. Clothing line 5 Rounds offers a unique collection of apparel and accessories by incorporating the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They are constantly evolving and improving to become the best fightwear company in the MMA world. Check out their line of t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and other great accessories at 5rounds.net. That's the number 5rounds.net. Follow them on Twitter at 5roundswear and on Instagram at 5rounds_. Get it on. Round 2 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. The long-anticipated and long-awaited debut of Gegard Mousasi for the Bellator promotion took place on Friday night. He defeated Alexander Shlemenko via unanimous decision. It was far from his first round or second round knockout guarantee that he was talking leading up to the fight. I think they see reports now he might have a broken orbital bone from Shlemenko. Man. So he got that one. Shlemenko landed an early overhand left hook that completely changed the course of Mousasi's game plan. You could tell after that he went to grappling, more, submission attempts, takedowns, stuff like that. So, I mean, that's a credit to Mousasi's well-roundedness that he was able to switch on the fly like that. Say, hey, you know what, this is going from stand-up to more grappling just to protect my eye. But it was a far cry from the success he projected from himself, the knockout. Yeah. So, what letter grade would you give Mousasi's debut?
If I'm grading straight up, I give him a C+. If I'm grading on a curve, it's just a C-. I think there's better fights than that one in the card. But yeah, I think it was a C+ performance. I don't know if you noticed this trend on Mousasi. He always gets caught at the most weird punches or weird exchanges, which always irritates me. If you looked at the Uriah Hall fight, he was perfectly in control, and then out of nowhere, he gets caught with some crazy hit. And I think this was the same thing. It was just like a crazy exchange, and he got caught. And it just sucks for my boy Mousasi. He has bad fortune in getting these awkward catches.
Yeah, when I saw, I was like, oh my god, another former UFC guy is gonna go get knocked out or lose here pretty bad.
I knew he was fine.
Yeah,
I was not panicking. And then when I saw him start going to the ground, I was like, no, my boy got it. He's had to switch it up a little bit.
Switch it up. I think I would have to give him at least a B-. I mean, yeah, it didn't go how he planned, but the fact that he's able to switch it up. Yeah. And his game plan, that's a testament to the quality of fighter he is.
Yeah.
Not too many guys would have ever done that. Some guys would just kind of bear down and just protect their eye. But he was able to switch his game plan. So, but it's not wasn't a sexy debut as he might have liked it, or not even as sexy debut as maybe Scott Coker might have liked it in the Bellator execs. But I mean, now he'll probably get a title shot, obviously. But you don't want to be in the whole. I mean, the 2 most successful former UFC fighters in Bellator are who? Ryan Bader and Phil Davis.
Yeah.
But they're not exactly lighting up with highlights, are they? Right? They're just grinding out victories, and nobody really cares when they fight, type of thing. Yeah. Here, when people had high hopes for Benson Henderson, for Rory McDonald, because these are spectacular style fighters.
All of it, even Lorenz Larkin. Yeah. Technically, they got him because he's a highlight realist too.
Yeah.
But I think it all lays down to Roy McDonald, the Red King, to impress the Bellator executives because it was a decision thing. I would give this to Shlemenko.
Yeah,
Shlemenko. He was actually doing super good leading up to this fight. I think he's best known for his loss against Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, when he was champion. He was middleweight champion, and then Tito signed with Bellator, and then Bellator said at light heavyweight.
And he clearly showed that he was not a light heavyweight. I think that's what he's best known for. But after that fight, he kind of bounced back really good. So he was leading up to this fight. He was super good. So I'm not trying to give Mousasi some excuses, but he did fight a very top opponent that I think if he would have been in UFC, he would have given anybody a tough matchup as well.
Yeah, I think he's there. He's a quality fighter, but just kind of under the radar. But yeah, Mousasi more likely he'll get a title shot next after his eye heals up. It's just not exactly selling point, but we'll see how he does there too. Anything else on that card you saw? I mean, Heather Hardy got.
Well, yeah, I was disappointed. Heather Hardy didn't win that fight. I thought she's an exciting fighter. She visually looks good. And she just didn't come across. But real quick, I'm gonna slaughter his name. Neum Gracie.
Yeah.
Wow. He looked. I thought like that. That guy was good.
Yeah.
And then the other two fights, the lightweight and the women's flyweight belt, I thought they were both exciting fights.
Yes.
So I thought it was a solid card for Bellator all around.
It was funny. Like this is kind of credit to Bellator. Prior to the fight, it was all about Heather Hardy. You know, she was 1-0. You know, former boxing champion. But after the fight, they made it a point to highlight Christina Williams and like follow her on Instagram. So that was pretty funny.
And then all of a sudden now they switching over.
Yeah. But hey, she's 1-0. Has spectacular. That was a heck of a kick. She destroyed Heather Hardy. Her nose is destroyed. That's like a Roy McDonald nose. But yeah, not a bad night for Bellator. I mean, their top free agent signing won. To the record books, it goes a W. Some people will say, but that's it. And then people were talking about it on Friday night, which is a good thing. When people talk about Bellator, it was trending on Twitter. So that's what you need for this organization. That's what MMA needs. It can't just be. I know here it's UFC all the time, but you know we cater to our audience. So it has to be. This is good. So hopefully now we'll get something going. And then Mousasi says once he gets 185, he's gonna go up to 205 and take that belt too. So
I'm perfectly fine
we'll see if that. That's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back and talk about Dana White's lack of willingness to. Think of ways to help with the weight cutting issue. But before let's talk about Mobilitas. Mobility Tool is the best mobility tools on the planet. Durable, portable, manufacturer release products designed with more grip to help you improve performance and recover faster. Visit yourjointshouldn'thurt.com for more information and to shop all the great lines of products. They're also on Instagram at Mobilitas. Like them on Facebook and visit youtube.com/yourjointshouldn'thurt for great tutorials on how to stay healthy and get the best workout possible. Round 3 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. So how many times have we seen countless times? I mean, how many times have we seen that?
Is that a movie?
Yeah. Fighters, getting on the scale, looking bad, or fights being called off because somebody misses weight, or you hear about fighters switching weight classes because they can't take the weight cut anymore. Conor McGregor, one of the most famous ones. I'm not going to 45. It's killing my body. I think Paige Van Sant said she can't make 115 anymore. She's going to 125, so on and so forth. But then you have guys like Dale Sanchez who jump up and down from 180 to, or BJ Penn. Who
can't really find the spot.
Yeah, who can't find it. And then people say, this is unhealthy. We need a way to protect the fighters. So they asked kind of Dana White. I think he was in Canada. They asked him about, what do you do for weight classes? And this is a quote from Dana White. People are like, add weight classes, do this, do that. And it's never going to change. You're still going to have people trying to let's say I add 165 pound weight classes. That will only mean bigger guys will try to make 165. Everybody's always looking for an advantage, end quote. So, I mean, we always say that for a while. Like, there's these gaps between 150 and then there's 155, then 170. Yeah, and then there's 180, and then once you go up to 205, right? So there's room for at least 2 more divisions there.
At least 195 and then
165, right? But Dana White says, no, why add more? Because people are still going to try to cut down. And he didn't really give a solution. I mean, he said there are ways to cut weight. There are safe ways. There's scientific ways. Nutritionists can help you do this. Everybody just wants to take shortcuts in the easy way, but there is no easy way when you're cutting weight. End quote. Is Dana White again saying. But I mean, how many times have we said? I think like, oh, Mike Dolce is the biggest one, but a couple fighters say, yeah, he's great, but I can't afford him.
Yeah.
Right. So not all these fighters can afford to have a personal nutritionist with them, 24/7 during a weight camp. Because you're not paying them, right?
Again,
what do you think? What do you make about Dana White's quote about not willing to? Hey, it's on the fighter's fault. It's not our fault. It's not us to figure it out.
I have a few things. I guess one thing I wish we could really talk to a UFC fighter and ask him how does that UFC facility really work? Because I know the last fight against Demetrius Johnson and Borg, Borg actually had the nutritionist at the UFC facility help him do that final weight cut, and was making like drinks and stuff for him. You can watch it on Embedded. Mm-hmm. So I'm not quite sure how that works as far as like the UFC facility, how is
it free? Did they pay it?
Pay it or what? Or like do they just show up and they can help them finish that weight cut? I don't know. That's something I think we really need to find out. But with that said, though, I understand what he's saying, that people are going to find advantage no matter what. But at the same time, I think these gaps should be filled out. And it's going to just add to more exciting fights, I think. And I'll give you an example. People forget that it's a double-edged sword. For a big guy to cut down, he dehydrates himself and whatever. But if another smaller guy doesn't have to cut as much, maybe he's a little bit more fresh. And then you have that whole aspect of weapon if that guy doesn't recover all the weight. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? But in that mid class, you could get these interesting fights. For instance, like we said, Conor McGregor says he never wants to see 145 anymore, right? Yeah. But let's say there was another weight class, and we don't want to see him at 170 because obviously it's not there. But at 165, who's willing to go to 165 and meet him there? Yeah. And I think that'll make things even more interesting. I don't want to see GSP versus Conor at 170. I think that's not fair. If GSP can make 165. I think that's a more fair fight. Yeah. And that's what I mean. I think you can mix it up better. I think that what he said, the advantage is always going to be there. I mean, you've heard of people that were like 210 fighting at 170, 155.
Anthony Johnson, remember, he was famous for being...
Yeah, when he was fighting at 170.
Walking around 220, cutting down to 170. And now he's considered a heavyweight now. It's kind of insane.
Exactly. So I think, like you said, the advantage is always going to be there. But at the same time, I think it just adds more excitement to add those gaps, and it just makes sense to add those 10-pound gaps. Yeah. Because I don't know, it just looks better.
I think also too, like, they're not gonna go the whole boxing route where it's a 3-pound difference, and
that's just ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. So it's we got to meet at 158. Well, I can't. No, 155. No, 154. No, 158. Yeah. Which doesn't make sense at all. But also how many times have we seen like? They can get rid of these interim titles and like have these pay-per-views filled out with a 165 title, a 195 title. It's the more championships, and they're trying to add more female championship weight classes as well. Yeah. Then you have more incentive to charge people for this much for pay-per-views, make the pay-per-views mean something.
As much as Diego is a draw, imagine if he was the 165 champion as well. I think that would have helped them out big time.
That's for Jason Hendricks, by the way, too.
Yeah. And I really do think he would have found a home at 165.
Yeah, but I mean, I think just add the 2 weight classes, 165, 195, and see what happens. You never know. Like maybe there's one guy who's kind of floundering at 185, can't go up to 205, and becomes a star at 195, or vice versa. Maybe like a Donald Cerrone could be champion at 165 because he can't. He's stuck between 155, and then you have a legitimate name at the top of pay-per-views, fight nights. Who's not putting on extra weight, who's not cutting weight at 165. Just try it and see what happens. I mean, it's not going to hurt. Call it the super lightweight, junior welterweight title. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's why Dana doesn't like the PR of it. Like, what do you call those weight titles? The junior lightweight, heavyweight title, or what?
You don't know how he would perform at 165. I mean, if he does way better than 155, the guys that beat him at 155 can't beat him at 165.
Yeah, it's just a little. Yeah, I think it's a little disappointing that he's so close-minded about this. Like, he seems like so. Like, you ask him about Conor McGregor, his mind expands, imagination, but like practical stuff like this. And like, no, don't see anything. No, not gonna happen. No, like, but like,
it's like the women's division.
Yeah, it's like no, like where's the imagination at? Like, I thought the WMG is paying him to like stick around like more. Like, was that part of his contract? To like, okay, you stay here, but like for every performance measure, you get like a bonus or something like that. I think that's something like that. But like, there's no imagination here. Like, he doesn't care. Anyways, but that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and come back into the championship rounds. Before the top of our great friend, speaking of Jason Hendricks and his podcast, the Dose Leprechauns podcast. From my understanding, they just defeated Notre Dame just defeated SC, right?
They
USC.
destroyed USC.
I'm not a big college football fan, never have been, but apparently that's a big deal.
That's a huge
That's
deal.
a huge deal, and especially we're based in SoCal, and Jason is too. So I guess he hears it a lot from
and on the other spectrum, UCLA destroyed Oregon.
Yeah.
So and that was a big deal. So good day for Cal. No, good and bad day for
yeah. So Jason hears a lot of smack talk from SC fans, but not necessarily SC alum, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dos Leprechauns podcast, college football, MMA, professional wrestling, sports, all that good stuff. They have great interviews. They're also on all forms of social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Dos Leprechauns. Please check them out. Do us a great favor. Coming up, the championship rounds, we're talking about Cyborg's willingness to or wanting Holly Holm to get tested just as she does, and we're going to preview the Machida, the Return of the Dragon. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time to enter the championship rounds. Fourth round here. So Albert, let's say I get caught. We're in the same classroom, right?
Okay.
I get caught cheating on an exam. You don't.
That's on you.
See, that's on me, right? So let's say now the professor or teacher, whatever grade we're in, I'm going to go that deep into it. Like from now on, the teacher says, you know, Alex, you sit at the very front of the desk, and I'm going to check you for all your materials before every test, right? That's only fair, right? And
Yeah.
Albert, you're part of the regular class. You just, you didn't break the trust, so you get to test.
I get to sit wherever I want.
You sit wherever you want, right?
Yeah.
And do I have right to complain that why do I got to sit at the front of the
Nope,
seat?
you got zero rights. You know why? 'Cause
Okay.
you got caught cheating.
Okay, so my example here, as poor as it was, I guess there's been that rumor between a fight between Cyborg and Holly Holm for a while now, but apparently there's been a wrench thrown in by Cyborg, who's saying she'll only agree to the fight with Holly Holm if she's tested. If Holly Holm is tested just as much as Cyborg is, but Cyborg is a former offender.
Yes.
Or suspicion. She was offended once before, right? And then she got flagged before, and then stuff like that. So eyebrows has been raised more than once on eyebrow in her testing, right? So she went on Instagram or Facebook or some video and she's like, you know what? Hey, when they knock at my house at 5 a.m., come at USADA to test me, it's only fair that they knock on Holly Holm's house at 5 a.m. and test her. She said that, you know what? She's calling for fair testing, equal amount. I won't be tested. I want Holly Holm to be tested as much as I am being tested here. But my question is, hey, Holly Holm's never been flagged for anything in her, in her career, her testing. Is that fair? Is that the real reason why this fight isn't happening? Is because of equal testing? No. And does Holly Holm's camp should she agree to? Hey, you know what? I'm clean. Let's do it. Or you know what? This is annoying.
Nah, there's a procedure with USADA now. Yeah. First of all, there's a reason why they don't schedule testing.
Obviously, yeah.
So if they do the same time testing, I think that's called, that's scheduling. It should be truly random.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just because she said it or whatever, she doesn't know when they're going to test Holly. How do you know that they're just waiting maybe next week to test her?
Yeah.
Because they're testing so-and-so this week. Because just because you're not booked for a fight doesn't mean you're not out of the pool.
Yeah.
You still get tested.
Yep.
We've seen fighters get flagged when they're out of competition.
Yeah.
So I think she's just crying wolf here. And I think in one way I get it. Like I can see why she feels like she's getting targeted. Because she hasn't gotten the best treatment when it comes to Dana White in the UFC. Yeah. So she has her defense up all the time when it comes to that. But at the same time, it's like...
always, what's it... Cyborg just say, hey, rumored, fight signed, fight announced. Yeah. Like, it's never like that with her.
No,
it's never...
she's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And she has a reason to, but at the same time, it's like, okay, just show up.
Yeah.
All right? They're going to test her as well. We've seen them... it doesn't matter if you're a name person or not. John Jones would have not got caught if it came down to a name fighter.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fighters that Anderson Silva was flagged. I mean, there's bigger fighters than you, Cyborg, that gotta wake up at 5 a.m. and get tested too.
Yeah, I mean, and so far Holly Holm's camp has been kind of quiet about this.
And they shouldn't have to say anything.
Yeah, but I guess they're both looking for the right amount of money, I guess, which is fair, obviously. But this whole we should be tested equally type of thing doesn't again
they're in the same thing.
Yeah,
they're getting tested.
I just kind of wish man, Cyber, can we just get a straight fight rumored, fight fight signed, fight announced. Here's a poster. at this date. Like everything else, but it's always like these extra steps with her. And I guess you said she is kind of paranoid. Maybe do you think Tito Ortiz is talking in her ear too much or what? Or
maybe Tito Ortiz is an idiot.
You can't trust Dana White or
you can't trust anyone that voted for Trump. That's the problem.
Hey man, we're not that kind of show.
Oh,
right?
sorry. Tito always brings the worst out of me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
But yeah, hopefully this fight happens. I think it makes sense for Holly Holm and it makes sense for Cyborg because again, as of right now, she's the only fighter in the 145 division. I mean, Megan Anderson, who was Invicta champion, I guess she's still going through some stuff. She looks super healthy on her Instagram post. If you guys follow Megan Anderson, she's always like thumbs up, sharing and working out and stuff like that. But yet her name is nowhere to be found, and I don't know if she's even cleared to fight or what's going on with her. But I mean, she dropped out from her Cyborg fight saying because there's personal issues.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that she hasn't.
Yeah, not even an inkling to maybe even want to fight. But she was working out, and doesn't mean she's training to fight. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But you would think, like, especially with Cyborg, like, hey, your career is kind of, you got more years behind you instead of ahead of you now. Why don't you just kind of just go with it and get as much money you can and don't be as dramatic as this and get your name out there on posters and seal your legacy and that way post you can get some movie deals or something.
And that's what people forget, like the Conor McGregors and them, they just do it.
Yeah.
They don't cry about this kind of stuff. They just bite down that mouthpiece and go.
For example, look at Conor McGregor and Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, the hugest name out there? No, but it looks like it's going to happen because you know what? We're going to do it.
Yeah, see? Sometimes you just got to just shut up and do it.
Sometimes, some millions is better than no millions, right? Mm-hmm. I wish I had that problem. That's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up. We're going to delve into the career of Lyoto Machida. I know Jason's been really... Our friend Jason Hendricks, Donald Cerrone's podcast, and Gegard Mousasi's podcast would love this round here, that he's not here to pick apart your analysis of Machida. Before we do that, let's talk about our great friends, great partners at FightBookMMA.com. FightBookMMA.com is the only place you'll find real combat sports news from all over the world, a website you can trust with accurate news from kickboxing, MMA, boxing, Muay Thai. It's all there under one roof. They cover everything from local promotions to the major ones. They also have a great podcast section of a great collection of combat sports podcasts. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram, FightBookMMA, and just bookmark FightBookMMA.com. Do yourself a favor. Fifth and final round coming up next. Welcome back to fifth and final round is coming up next, right here. October 28th, 2017, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, on Fox Sports 1. The return of the Dragon, Lyoto Machida, after a 2-year absence. He had last fought on June 27, 2015, where he lost to Yoel Romero. It's been 2 years already. God, where's the time go? Against Derek Brunson in the main event for this fight night card. Machida is pushing 40 now. He's one more year until he's 40. But as you said, this is the prime spot, right? Especially in light heavyweight division. This is final run here for Machida.
Yeah, this is a
2-year run, maybe 1 year run.
I give it a 2-year run.
Yeah,
I think without any losses, 2 years. With the loss, one is just 1 year, and that's it. But I'll give you some good facts first.
Okay.
Before we start our debate here, October 24th.
Okay.
Right near my birthday. Right.
Yeah.
Machida wins. Against
who? Okay.
Mark Munoz, October 26th. Wins.
That was 2009, right?
Yeah.
And Mark Munoz was in 2013.
Yeah, and then October 28th, near my birthday.
2017.
Yeah. So the record's looking good for Machida right now. Whenever he fights near my birthday, he gets that W. So he has that going with him.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people need to put it into account. But that said, though, on the real though, I miss Machida. I miss his style. I miss his presence. I think it was BS with the whole Romero thing because I don't know. Was he on something? Was he not? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll take the latter on that.
Talk about Yoel Romero being on something, right?
Yeah. Yoel Romero. Because we know Machida doesn't cheat.
He came clean.
He came clean and told on himself.
Yep. So that's the Dragon way to do it. It's very honorable, by the way.
Very honorable. So I really do hope he has a good performance in this upcoming fight. But I still want to see him in his career at 205. I still think that's where he had his most success. I think that's
champion there,
where he had his best finishes. I think when he dropped down to 185, we didn't really see other than the I already forgot. I already forgot what was a good knockout he had at 185. Or he had a finish.
I think, he finished Mark Munoz.
I think I was talking about CB Dollaway.
Oh, CB Dollaway. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that one, he hasn't really had that, like what Machida was known for at 185.
Yeah.
So I really do hope he finishes his career at 205. So I hope he wins this bout and decides to test his waters at 205. And to be honest, DC is my boy too. I see him matching up pretty good with DC.
That'd be a good fight right there. Derek Brunson, very good fighter, but like when he kind of
right now he's hating the
said that
the
Black House
guys. I guess you could put.
I think he did a post on social media saying, "Hey, hopefully Machida's not as greased up as you are or you were, Anderson Silva." I don't know, but when he's faced up against like the top tier guys, he's lost to Jacques Ray back in Strikeforce, lost to Yoel Romero, he's lost to Robert Whitaker and Anderson Silva. Those are even Anderson Silva's an elite fighter, no matter what grade he is. So he's kind of like Derek Brunson's kind of gauging where he's at, right? Like, I'm at this level here to get the next level. Even at this stage of career, a win over Machida is a big deal as a former UFC champion. So we'll see if Derek Brunson can come away with this. But also, go ahead.
I just want to do one last stat. Derek Brunson technically is a wrestler, and we all know how Machida does with wrestling.
Co-main event, Damian Maia versus Colby Covington. Also on this card, Jim Miller versus Francisco Trinaldo. John Lineker is on this card against Marion Vera. Also on this card, somebody I saw. I forgot who else, but I think that's about it, though. Pretty decent card for Saturday.
Yeah, for being a free fight, I'm pretty excited. Like you said, you mentioned the good ones already.
Yeah.
So from the start of the main event, the main card to the end of the main card, I think it's super good. There's a sprinkle of some fighters in the prelims.
Yeah.
So I think it's a solid card. Of course, it's a Brazilian heavy.
Yeah.
Because it is in Brazil.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll be probably going back and forth. I think with this in the World Series, obviously. It's on Saturday, right?
I'm only dedicating the Machida bout, and then the rest of them, I'm either gonna watch the highlight or rewatch them later.
Or record DVR later.
I'm not messing in the Dodgers. I mean, it's been I was 1 year old, I think, the last time they were.
Yeah, 29 years. For all you Dodger fans out there or Astros fans out there, I think it should be an exciting World Series. I know Guillermo's super excited. I know Jason Hendrick's super excited to get their Dodger blue on and their Lakers gold and purple on it. That they were here, they would agree with us very much, very much so. That's it for today's show. I want to thank everybody for listening. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts if you like what you hear. Podomatic and YouTube. Rate, comment, give us a star rating, whatever you like. Whether it's good or bad, we need feedback. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Visit FiveRoundMMA.com as well. We got some great interviews lined up for you, so keep tuned for that. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to thank everybody for listening, and I'm actually pretty pumped for WWE. Believe it or not,
yes.
I am pumped.
TLC.
We're gonna get to see AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, which I've been dying to see that matchup.
Yeah.
And then I thought, how awesome is it that Roman Reigns gets hurt, and we get the return of Kurt Angle and WWE. I am pumped. Just to let you know. And I want WWE to know, I canceled my subscription.
So did I.
And low key, guess what? I bought it back.
It's back today. I'll cancel it. That's the free trial I get. Thanks everyone for listening. See you guys next week.
You are now listening to FRMMA Radio.